All systems go. Clear for takeoff.
What is going on, YouTube? We're back. SHIPIT Nation back with another episode of the Witching Hour Friday edition. My guy Ham is back in his home office, home base there from vacation, and we got quite the slate on tap here tonight. 14 games, incredible weather across the board. I mean, there's just massive heat waves across the board, 100 plus degrees, couple games. Incredible chalk to talk about at pitcher. There's nuts. It's an absolute crazy slate we have to break down here for you guys, but we're going to bring you the winners like we always do each and every show right here. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you are new. We're bringing the Friday winners. It's the Dodgers night, Hamwich, but before we jump into the games, Hamwich, how was your vacation? I'll bring you in here. How was your week? You're back in your home base, it looks like. How you been, man?
Yeah, no, I've been doing good, Nate. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, vacation was nice. Little refresh, recharge, going to the beach, getting in that ocean. But yeah, let's ship some winners. It's a Dodgers Friday night. I actually like the Reds a little bit too. I know people will be going to play Miller at SP, but man, those Reds look good to me, especially those lefties. We'll dive into it. I know you've already built the winner, so we might as well. We're all playing for second place here, so we'll try to do our best to do that.
Yeah, that's one thing we do over here at SHIPIT Nation is we get our content up nice and early for the people over here, our subscribers at the home base over here to break down, build their own lineups, use all the tools. We get our content up nice and early for the people. Projections are constantly updating, changing as lineups come out. Our starting lineups page is updated as lineups come out as well. I know my core is already live. Hoop Slate Plan's up there. His core is going live. So we're ready to ship this slate. I'll tell you that right now. I got tons of energy on this Friday. Shot the best round of golf this morning. Was out there on the nice golf course, enjoying the nice Wisconsin weather here, which we get for about 2 weeks a season, 2 weeks a year. It feels like up here in Wisconsin. I know our guy G Risen's working through some power outages there in Michigan. They got absolutely piss pounded with storms there, but we all hands on deck over here at SHIPIT Nation. Again, $59 a month, $5.99 for the year does get you access to all of our premium content over here, including projections, including rankings, hitter rankings, pitcher rankings, which I see our guy there in the chat, Jax let the people know. Let's get the likes home today. We're going to shoot for 120. Let's shoot for 120 likes. Give you our top 2 ranked pitchers, our top 2 ranked hitters, proprietary ranking system over here. And man, let me tell you what, they've been absolutely crushing all season long. And no better spot to nice look at some rankings when you got 14 games on tap here. Let's say hi to a couple of people in the chat. We got Mike Carr always in here. What's up, Mike? How we doing? Parabe in here. Got San Marcos, minus 150 in here. Jake Swales. What's up, everyone? Al in here. Everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you are new. But let's go ahead and jump it right in. Pitchers, man, let's talk like we always do. Let's go 9K and above. Just sorting them out here for you. Let's go, talk 9K and above. Hold on, let me just throw this filter on. My solver is all jacked up over here. But yeah, 9K and above. Let's talk pitching. Obviously, we got Gosman chalk, it looks like, on the slate here. Zach Wheeler, decent matchup against Pittsburgh there, but it's nice warm weather there in Pittsburgh. Joe Musgrove against those Texas bats who just went absolutely nuclear the other night. You got Mitch Keller. You got Max Scherzer in there. You got Giolito, Sonny Gray. You got a lot of guys 9K and above. So break down this range. Logan Webb in there. Garrett Cole. But yeah, definitely the 2 highest owned guys, Max Scherzer, Kevin Gosman. Hit on those 2 in particular. I'm seeing 30+% ownership on both of those. A lot of guys to break down here in this range. It's pretty loaded upper tier. Where are you going in this range?
Yeah, no, it is a great tier. Some good real life pitchers in there. No real interest in Gosman. He's struggled a little bit, I think. Obviously he has a strikeout upside, but for that kind of price tag, 10-8 on DK, I think I'm going to be lower than the field. Same with Garrett Cole. I have a little bit of respect for these Orioles. The weather there in Baltimore tonight, and they just don't strike out that much. I'm going to pinpoint 3 guys and let you talk about anybody that I don't particularly like. And I'm just going to go in order based on their DK salary. 10-2, Logan Webb, who got roughed up his last outing, gets to come home to face these Red Sox in his home ballpark. We will not be seeing 100-degree weather in San Francisco. We know that's a big ballpark. We know it's a pitcher's ballpark. And he gets this Red Sox team. He's striking out over 35% of righties over the last 30 days, gets to face 4 in the projected lineup. With this condensed weather, I like Logan Webb on a little bit. Bounce back spot for him. So look at me attack him. My number 1 pitcher on the night would have been Zach Wheeler, but looking at that weather in Pittsburgh, it's some bad weather, and our metrics and our proprietary information that you talked about really likes these Pirates tonight. So it kind of makes me leery of Zach Wheeler, but he's Mr. Consistency. 109 pitches, 101 pitches, 101 pitches, 85 pitches, 107 pitches. So, 4 out of the last 5 games, he's gone over 100 pitches, 26 DK points, 20 DK points. I mean, the superlatives go on and on for Zach Wheeler. We've been picking on this Pirates team over the last 2 weeks. So I definitely like Zach Wheeler, but definitely want to check out that weather as well. Just kind of make sure that those two go hand in hand. But he would be my SP1 on a normal slate. And then the last one I do want to talk about is Max Scherzer, who will be chalked tonight, facing his former mates. They just don't strike out that much, this Nationals team. And at pitching, I want strikeouts, especially if I'm going to pay that kind of money. So Max Scherzer still would be my number 3. I do think he could overpower, maybe get 6, 7, 8 strikeouts, limit the earned runs. So that's kind of how I would rank this top range. I would say Zach Wheeler, number 1 for me, Logan Webb 2, and Scherzer 3, with a sprinkle of Kevin Gausman and Garrett Cole there at 4-5.
Yeah, no, excellent breakdown. Obviously, there's a ton of guys here in this range. A lot of talented arms overall. A lot of good pitchers. You can't play everyone on this slate. I'm playing a couple teams tonight, much like you are. Personally, for me in this range, number 1 for me is Logan Webb. Looking at this Boston team, number 1 outside of Fenway, I'm not really scared of this Boston team outside of playing in a weather game or something like that. But outside of Fenway, in a pitcher's park in San Francisco, one of the worst weather spots on the slate in terms of hitting conditions. When you talk about temperature and that, Logan Webb, I mean, he's been incredible. This Red Sox team has actually struck out more against righties than people give it credit for. I mean, there's a couple bats in here. I mean, 4 hitters that are approaching 30% or higher in terms of K rate. Duran there, Duvall, Connor Wong down there in the 8-hole. I mean, 81 plate appearances. He's striking out almost 40% to right-handed pitching. Logan Webb, 25% K rate on the season, limits hard contact. I think he pitches deep into this game. I like him. I'm not seeing a ton of ownership on him. So he's my favorite up at the top, kind of squeezed there between Zach Wheeler and Kevin Gausman. I like Logan Webb right there in the middle quite a bit. Kevin Gausman is he's an interesting talking point. Obviously, he has a ton of strikeout upside overall. But looking at this Angels lineup that they actually is projected here, man, just a 21% K rate on the season against right-handed pitching. I get it. Kevin Gausman, 33% K rate on the year. He's been incredible. He really has. But you still got to face Mr. Ohtani in there, who smashes righties. This Angels team is probably going to load their team with lefties. At least that's what I'm seeing projected wise. So I think they can give Kevin Gausman a little bit of struggle. And at 35% plus on a 14-game slate, also being the second highest highest priced pitcher on the slate, I'm going to be out on Kevin Gausman here. I like the Dodgers. I like the Braves. I like expensive offenses tonight. I just can't get all the way up to Gausman, especially at that ownership. Some of these lefties do scare me, and overall, these Angels just haven't struck out a ton on the road this season against righties. That could change for a reason, for sure. In cash games, I think he's a great play, but in tournaments, I'm going elsewhere. So I'm off on Kevin Gausman. Zach Wheeler is definitely interesting. I like Zach Wheeler a lot, but looking at Kevin Ross' weather statement, he's got this game tagged as orange overall with some storms there. Starting first pitch. I mean, if there's a delay in there, Zach Wheeler at 9,800, he's definitely not coming back after delay. So it is a little bit risky. I would monitor the weather there if you are going to Zach Wheeler, but he does get a very, very good matchup here, Zach Wheeler. Personally, I think it's the best matchup on the board. These Pirates just strike out a lot. I'm not really scared of the power outside of Jack Sawinski in there. I do see G-Man Choi is back in the lineup. He typically smashes righties. So a little bit of caution there on Zach Wheeler. I actually like Joe Musgrove quite a bit here. It's kind of scary to pick on these Rangers, but everyone just saw what the Rangers just did the other day. I thought that kind of was a fluke performance there against Framber and the Astros. They went in there, obviously in-state rival there, punched him in the mouth. There was a fight during the game. Maldonado got ejected. I think Joe Musgrove here can limit these Rangers, get some strikeouts to be had in this lineup. I mean, Adolis Garcia, Josh Young right there in the middle, strikeout right around 30% against righties. Musgrove, 25% K rate on the season, under a 6%, barrel rate. I do think Joe Musgrove has a lot of upside here. I'm seeing right around 20% ownership on him. I think he's a great play in this range. So for me, I'm actually going to go Logan Webb number 1, Joe Musgrove number 2. And then Zach Wheeler would be my 3rd, but definitely monitor the weather. I'm out on Max Scherzer, not really going to pick on these Nationals. They just don't strike out a ton. My guy CJ Abrams is always in there. I've been liking these Nats a little bit as of late. Max Scherzer, 35% ownership. I just don't think he has the K upside with this matchup, and I want strikeouts on this slate. That's what I'm chasing. I like some cheaper pitchers that I think do have K upside. So those are the guys up at this top. Obviously, you can play a lot more of these guys. It's a massive slate, but those are kind of who I'm honing in on. Let's jump into the next tier here. We got Christian Javier. Let's touch on 6,500 and above, which is Cutter Crawford. We got Chirinos there against the Brewers, Tommy Henry, Mackenzie Gore, Bobby Miller, Montgomery, and then Javier. Any interest in this range for you? I'm not seeing really any ownership on any of these guys. I mean, all these guys projected sub 10%. Do you have any low-owned options in here that you have a take on? How much were you going?
Yeah, this is kind of no man's land for me. I don't really have any interest. I see the chat's going to disagree with me on this, but I have, if I were going to play this and needed the money, 6,500, Yonny Chirinos making his Braves debut. I realize he's been terrible all season long, but getting on the Braves, getting in that winning environment, and picking on this Brewers team, I'm not afraid of this Brewers offense. I think if you can get by the top 3, I think after that you're facing a bunch of guys that you can get away with. K upside there on this Brewers team. So Yonny Chirinos at 6,500. I have a minimal interest in on DraftKings only. Wouldn't play him on FanDuel. And then the other one I want to touch on is Bobby Miller, who looks like he's going to get around 20-25% ownership on DK. And I just don't have any interest, Nades. I have a little bit of respect for these Reds bats, especially Joey Votto, Ellie De La Cruz. I know he's cooled down, but he can always hit a dong or two. Any of these lefties I like who Bobby Miller's been struggling against. So no Bobby Miller for me in this range. I mean, I think 25% is not very smart in my opinion. So I'd be fading that. Jordan Montgomery struggled his last time out against these Cubs, gave up 7 runs, 5 earned. So he gets to see him 5 days later at home. A little bit of interest in Jordan Montgomery. Not a big believer in this Cubs offense. It has gotten a little bit better over the last week or so, but I have faith in Jordan Montgomery, especially they need this game. So those would be the 3 in this range I have interest in, but these are DK only guys for me. No FanDuel exposure for any of those 3.
Yeah. No, Bobby Miller take is interesting. I mean, there is strikeouts to be had in this lineup overall. Bobby Miller's been pretty solid, 24% K rate, right around that. Pretty low barrel rate overall in the season. These Reds still do. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 bats, 5 bats in the lineup. Obviously, Encarnacion's sample size on the road this season against righties is pretty limited, but still struck out 60% of those 5 at-bats. The other guys, I mean, Ellie De La Cruz, Matt McClain, Tyler Stevenson in there, Joey Votto, they all strike out right around 30% or higher. Obviously, Joey Votto's a little bit under 30%, but I do think Bobby Miller can get some K upside there. I don't mind him in this range, but my favorite guy is actually Mackenzie Gore against these Mets. I get it. It is good hitting weather, but that's kind of the nature of the slate. There's good hitting weather all over the place. I just think I think Mackenzie Gore and his 28% K rate, I'm looking for strikeouts. Even if he gives up some runs, I need some strikeouts at 7,300. He kind of fit my build. I think he gets some strikeouts here in this lineup. I mean, the back half of that lineup, Mark Vientos, Brett Beatty, striking out 25, 37%. Tommy Pham striking out 25%. Lindor striking out 25%. I just think he can get some strikeouts at 7,300. So I do like Mackenzie Gore. He's been good. The last 2 starts are been solid. I'm seeing very low ownership on him, so I don't mind him in that range. I'm out on Jordan Montgomery. I mean, it is absolutely ridiculously hot in St. Louis. 100 degrees, wind blowing out about 10 to 12 miles an hour. And it's going to be 195 plus degrees the entire duration of that game there in St. Louis. So I'm out on Jordan Montgomery, especially the way the Cubs are playing right now. I get the reason for going back to him, but I just can't do it. So in this range, I really have interest. Mackenzie Gore is my main guy, and then Bobby Miller would be my second one in this range. Let's hit on the rest of this slate. Take it down. We got Cutter Crawford all the way down to Touki Toussaint down there at the bottom. Obviously, you got Adrian Hauser in there. One call at Drew Smyly was projected to start, but I do believe the Cubs are not starting Drew Smyly. I believe their Werensinski is going to get the start. It hasn't been confirmed, but I have seen multiple reports saying Hayden Werensinski is going to start for the Cubs. So definitely keep an eye on that. But Drew Smyly was going to get a little bit of ownership, I think, at his price point at 5,700 against those Cardinals. So definitely keep an eye on there. I would not play Drew Smyly, obviously, if he is not starting, because Werensinski is going to be in there taking his starting pitching rotation. Hit on the bottom tier here. How much? Where are you going in this range?
Yeah, once again, not a range that I'm gonna mess with on FanDuel outside of one guy. That one guy is Grayson Rodriguez, who I have some interest in. I know the Yankees are getting back Aaron Judge tonight. That's going to boost their lineup. But outside of Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, I'm really not worried about this lineup. I'm not afraid of those names. I think Rizzo is down, LeMahieu's down. I think McKinney's in the lineup tonight. So outside of 2 and 3, I really like Grayson Rodriguez, especially at that price point, striking out 29% of left-handed hitters. So I have a little bit of interest in Grayson, especially at that price point. And then Cy Hauser, I'm not going to go there. I know he struck out 9 or 10 Braves last time he was on the bump. No interest there. The only other gross one that I would mention, I know the chat's not going to like this one either, and I know you're not going to like this one either. You just can't barrel this man up. Brady Singer, who's been, I'm going to say, dominant his last 2 starts, going 23 DraftKings points and 17 DraftKings points against this Twins lineup. I know the weather's bad. I know the Twins lefties profile well versus Brady Singer, but if you need to get down to 6,400 on as an SP2, I don't think Brady Singer is the worst option, just based on who we got down there.
Yeah, I am. I'll be out on Singer. So if Singer beats me, he beats me. I'm not going to play Brady Singer against lefties that have been smashing the ball, especially over the last 30 days in 102-degree weather with double-digit wind blowing out in Coors Field 2.0 there in Kauffman Stadium. So I'll leave that one to you, Mr. Singer. There, you can sing your way to the top of the leaderboards if he does get the job done. A little karaoke there, but yeah, not for me. Grayson Rodriguez is one of my favorite pitchers on the slate. I get Aaron Judge is back in the lineup, but looking at this Yankees lineup, man, it's pretty brutal. 28% K rate on the season against righties on the road. I mean, you got Rizzo striking out 30%, Stanton against a righty striking out 30%. You got McKinney in there striking out 40%, Volpe striking out 33%. Ben, the catcher there, batting 9, striking out 50% in his limited plate appearances. I mean, there's just tons of strikeouts in here. Grayson Rodriguez, 26% K rate. I do think this kid's going to be good. He probably is going to give up a home run or two, maybe to Aaron Judge or someone like that in Camden, because it is great hitting weather there. But I mean, his K rate, his K upside at 6,300. I don't care if he gives up 1 or 2 runs, 3 runs, if he has 8, 9 strikeouts, which I think is definitely in the realm of possibilities tonight. So Grayson Rodriguez, 6,300 for me. I love him quite a bit. He's one of my favorite pitchers on the slate, all things considered, and I'm seeing sub 15% ownership on him. Obviously, that's probably he is probably gonna get steamed a little bit leading up to lock here, but I just don't care. The matchup is good there. The strikeout upside is there, and I'm really only afraid of Stanton and Judge, to be honest with you, in this lineup. And even Stanton, I mean, he strikes out 1 out of 3 times there against a righty. So I like that. Really, I don't have any other interest, to be honest, down here in this cheap range. I mean, JP Sears in Coors Field. It is still Colorado. I do have faith in JP Sears as a pitcher. I think he's a pretty solid pitcher overall, but I don't know if you need to really play a pitcher in Coors Field on a 14-game slate. But, man, this Rockies team does strike out 26. So if I had to choose another guy down here, it'd probably be JP Sears, even in Coors Field. I know it's gross, but really Grayson Rodriguez, JP Sears for me, not going to really anyone down here. I mean, if you had to pick another guy, I would say probably Cutter Crawford would be my favorite. Just I think he's got K upside, 24% on the season. Not really afraid of this Giants team too much. I mean, there is strikeouts to be had, especially in the back half of that lineup with Brett Wisely, Patrick Bailey there. So just those three guys at the top, really, for me, 6,500 Crawford, Grayson Rodriguez, Sears. But Rodriguez definitely in his tier of his own down here. So, Hamwich, let's go ahead. Before we go game by game, let's give the people your top 4 pitchers on the slate. Salary doesn't matter. Just run them by them.
Yeah, so top 4 for me. Number 1, I'm gonna go Zach Wheeler's number 1 for me. Logan Webb, number 2 for me. Number 3 is going to be, I'm going to say, I said Scherzer earlier, so I'll stick with Scherzer. And then 4 is going to be Grayson Rodriguez as an SP2 type. Obviously, I like Garrett Cole and Kevin Gausman better than Rodriguez, but if I'm playing an SP2, it would be Grayson Rodriguez in this range.
Yeah, no, great breakdown. I'm going to go up at the top. I'm going to go Logan Webb, number 1 against those Red Sox. I'm going to go Joe Musgrove, number 2. Grayson Rodriguez, number 3 for me on this slate. And then I'll go Mackenzie Gore as my 4th guy. I just think he has K upside here, even if he does give up some runs to these Mets. I just think the strikeout upside there. So I like some cheaper pitchers tonight because once we get to bats, you're gonna hear it. I'm gonna talk about bats, and we're gonna jump right into the first game on the slate here, which I'm looking at, and it's that Camden Yards game. I see Warren in the chat. Steve, excuse me. How's the weather in Baltimore? Well, it is good hitting conditions, but that's the nature of this slate. It's pretty good hitting conditions across the country. I'm seeing upper 90s, slight wind blowing out in Camden Yards. Garrett Cole on the hill, Grayson Rodriguez. We have a little bit of interest in both of these guys, but it is still pretty good hitting weather. Any interest in bats in this one, Orioles, Yankees?
Yeah, just looking at the chat, and Parabay just put in some color around that. So yeah, there you go. So definitely keep an eye out on this weather. Nades and I both have interest in Grayson Rodriguez. So no real interest for the Yankees. I mean, Aaron Judge as a one-off is never a bad play. So Aaron Judge only for me on the Yankee side. And then I'm not going to pick on Garrett Cole. I mean, with 28 pitchers to choose from, my stacks will come from pitchers that aren't any good. And Garrett Cole's obviously really good, so I won't have any Orioles in my lineups.
Yeah, I don't have any interest really in this game at all. Obviously, you can always play Aaron Judge, 6K, first game back. Sure. You can always play Aaron Judge. I mean, one of the best hitters in baseball, tons of home run upside. But really no interest in bats in this one for me. And we see it in the chat, right? Mike Carr. Yeah, it's incredible hitting conditions across the country. That's what you get when it's the heart of July into August, middle of the summer baseball here, especially in the Midwest. The temperatures are absolutely absurd, and the ball just starts flying. So good hitting conditions, but really no interest there. Next game on the slate, we do have the Phillies heading into Pittsburgh. Probably the worst weather on the slate in terms of risk for a postponement, at least according to Kevin Roth. New York and Baltimore, the game we just did hit on, is probably a close second. At least that's what he has tagged as of now. But he has this one tagged as orange. Talk on this one. Phillies heading into the Pirates. Mitch Keller, Zach Wheeler, 2 decent pitchers on the mound overall. But, man, it is very, very warm in Pittsburgh. Obviously, hot and humid. That's why the storms are coming there. Any interest in bats? I mean, Jack Sawinski, G-Man Choi's back in the lineup for the Pirates. Those guys are cheap with tons of power. Any interest in this one?
Yeah, I'll be paying close attention to this weather because, you heard me earlier say Zach Wheeler's my number 1 pitcher. Well, my number 1 stack of the day is going to be these Philadelphia Phillies, especially these lefties playing against Mitch Keller, who's really come back down the earth, only striking out 17% of left-handed hitters over the last 30 days. I really like the power in this lineup. Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, Bryson Stott, even Marsh down there in the 8-hole. I believe he's batting in the 8-hole tonight. So I really like these lefties. I would bundle in some of these righties too. Trey Turner obviously is always good for power speed. Nick Castellanos. So Phillies right as of right now are my number one stack. Depending on the weather, I think they get to Mitch Keller. Great hitting conditions. Full 27 outs tonight. So I really love these Phillies and no interest in these Pirates for me. They should strike out too much. Have not been hitting that well, and I'm going to get off Sawinski. I mean, I know he can pop off at any time, but give me Zach Wheeler. Give me these Phillies bats tonight.
Yeah, no, definitely an interesting take. I'm definitely not the same, but I mean, you can always play Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Bryson Stott. I mean, these lefties for sure. Jake Cave, Brandon Marsh. Brandon Marsh down there, 2,700 with power in the 8-hole, I think is a fine value option if you need to. Obviously not the greatest lineup position, but 2,700 with power, 213 expected ISO on the year against righties. Mitch Keller has been pretty bad as of late, his last couple starts as well. Great hitting weather. Again, story of the slate, but not a ton of interest in bats on this one for me. I would probably, Jack Sawinski, G-Man Choi, smash righties. It is good weather there, so I don't mind those guys, but really, I don't think you need to pick on Zach Wheeler on a 14-game slate. Again, keep an eye on weather in this one because it is the most risk for a postponement, at least according to Kevin Roth there. Again, if you guys do not follow Kevin Roth on Twitter, give him a follow. Post weather breakdowns leading up to lock for free. Absolutely does a great job over there. So next game on the slate, we have the Angels heading into Toronto to face the Blue Jays. Giolito on the hill, newly acquired Giolito for the Angels, making his debut for LA. Facing these Blue Jays, Kevin Gausman, the chalk of the slate. These Angels confirmed lineup have rolled out 6 left-handed bats. Obviously, one of those guys is Rengifo down there in the 9-hole as a switch hitter. Likely will be hitting from the left side of the plate against Gausman to start. Any interest in these Angels against the chalk pitcher on the slate? And then any interest in these Blue Jays against Giolito making his debut?
Yeah, let's start with the Blue Jays bats because I do have a little bit of interest in them. I mean, I think you and I were on the show last time, Nate, when Giolito went out and I shit all over him, and then he went out and struck out 9 twins. But I don't think Giolito's any good. I think he's broken. He was in Chicago yesterday. Now he goes to Canada. He's playing with a new team, a bunch of guys he's never played with, and so I really like these Blue Jays bats tonight. Righties and lefties. He's been struggling all season. 2 outings ago against the Mets, he just got absolutely lit up. So give me these Blue Jays. So they're going to come in sub 5%. So I like the full stack of the Blue Jays. And then once again, no interest in the Angels. I mean, I'm not picking on Gausman. I'm not going to play him on my main team, but I'm not going to pick on him either. I just respect him too much. But if you wanted to get crazy and do something that not a lot of people are going to do, full stack the Angels to get different. But no Angels for me tonight.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of with you here. I would just look at lefties again. Last 30 days, Gausman's allowing a 367 ISO to left-handed bats and only striking out 16% of those. That's why you see this Angels lineup rolling out 6 of those lefties, and one of the best, if not the best, baseball player that we've seen in quite some time, and Mr. Showtime there, Ohtani, which they did pull him from the trade market, obviously. They're going to try and restructure a contract there with Ohtani. I mean, that dude, bring the Brinks truck when you're trying to sign him because absolute specimen. What he'd throw a complete game shutout yesterday, and then second game of the doubleheader hit a double dong, right? Absolutely freak athlete there, freak player. Very, very special to watch. So, yeah, Gausman, I'm off Gausman here. Just a ton of lefties here. Obviously, I don't have a ton of interest in these Angels, but a little Ohtani Moniak there. A little mini stack, 2-3. Again, both lefties, both hit right-handed pitching very well. Gausman struggles against lefties. A guaranteed 9th inning at bats. Nobody's going to play that mini stack there. So I don't hate that little mini stack, little 2-3 mini stack, Ohtani Moniak there. Obviously, you get the best hitter in baseball. And then a nice Moniak who's having a pretty solid year overall. So that's my interest. I can't do the Blue Jays. I just haven't played these Blue Jays all season. Giolito is still a pretty quality pitcher, I think, overall. So I'm out on the Blue Jays, but they do have a 5+ implied run total here against Giolito. I just can't do it. I like other spots on this slate, so not for me.
Hey, Real quick, let me add something, Nades. And I saw it come through earlier and want to point it out. George Springer got demoted to the 5-hole today. So normally batting leadoff, I think all season. So he's sandwiching in between Vladimir and Matt Chapman tonight. So for me, I really like that 4, 5, 6 combination with those three plus one more. Find which one ever you like. But George Springer getting demoted, I think I really like that play. He's got power, he's got speed, he's pissed off. He's going to show old Skip tonight that he needs to be up in that 1 hole. So give me George Springer tonight. I really like George Springer.
Yeah, no, good call out there. Whit Merrifield is batting leadoff. Brandon Belt in the 3-hole. What a season Brandon Belt is having. His price remains super cheap on DraftKings, but again, you can only play one of him or Vlad there at the first base spot. But yeah, no Blue Jays for me personally, but our guy Hamwich here, who does very good in baseball as well, does like the Blue Jays. I seen it in the chat. Let's go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you are new. We got about 160 people in here watching, 62 likes. If we do get to 120 likes, I expect more people to trickle in as the show goes on. We will give away our top 2 ranked pitchers, our top 2 ranked hitters, which see a couple guys in chat, like my guy Jax at the top of the hour, saying, hey, let's hit that like button. Let's get these rankings. Let's get these top 2 ranked pitchers, top 2 ranked hitters. So hit that like button if you have not already. Hit that subscribe button. Again, these shows are brought to you by ShipItNation.com and our partners. Let me go ahead and give our partner plug here. Drafters, best ball. Obviously, NFL is near and around the corner. I saw DraftKings release the week 1 NFL pricing, and there's 3 milli makers this year: $100, a $5, and the big mammoth mega 4444. But Best Ball Streets, jump into Best Ball Streets, brought to you over on Drafters. Use that code SHIPIT, get you a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. So you deposit $100, you get $100 free. You got $200 to play with in those Best Ball Streets. Check out Big Marley and Titletown, the reigning champion. Tons of best ball shows, live drafts right here on this YouTube station. And they will continue to do that leading up to the first kickoff, which is just over a month away. Again, it's great time of the year here, but we appreciate Drafters a ton for the partnership over there. And typically they don't match up to 100%. They only give you up to $50, I believe, on the match. So you do get 100% deposit match up to $100 here. So incredible deal there using the code SHIPIT. Definitely head over there and check that out. But back to the baseball shows here, back to the games. Next game on the slate, we got these Cleveland Guardians facing the White Sox. Mr. Touki Toussaint on the hill. Curry making his another start for the Guardians here. More of a bullpen game, I think. Obviously, Toussaint's probably going to throw a decent amount of innings, but I do think Curry's not going to throw a ton. Guardians have a 5.3 implied run total. White Sox still have a pretty good implied run total. Do you have interest in bats on this one, or where are you going here?
Yeah, we didn't mention Xavier Curry. He's $9K today, which is crazy to me that he's that expensive and going to throw 3 innings max. But Nades, the White Sox have quit. They've quit on the season. They're done. They don't want to play. They don't want to be there. They're trading all their good players, which they didn't have many anyway. But I really like the Guardians tonight. They in our rankings over here at ShipItNation.com, they grade out very well. They project very highly. So I really like the Guardians. We normally don't stack the Guardians because they don't have a lot of power. But when I look at Andres Jimenez, Jose Ramirez, Josh Naylor, they profile very well, especially against Touki Toussaint. So I do like these Guardians tonight. I am out on these White Sox. I'll be placing a large wager on the Guardians today because White Sox have quit, and that's my hot take of the day. Don't really have any interest in either pitcher, but only the Guardians as it comes to the bats.
Yeah, no, I think the Guardians are definitely a viable stack option here. I don't see them. I don't think they're going to get a ton of ownership. Actually, I take that back. They are projected to be the highest owned stack of the day right now. But again, they've been hitting the ball well. And you look at these price points: Josh Bell under 3K, Will Brennan sub 3K, Gonzalez, Naylor, Arias all sub 3K. Even Josh Naylor there in the cleanup spot, 4,400 is a nice price point with his power. I think these Guardians are a viable stack. I mean, only one bat over 5,000 in J-Ram there. They'll steal bases. They've been hitting the ball well. Pretty healthy implied run total. Touki Toussaint's not any good, I don't think, personally. So I do think the Guardians, I like them more as a mini stack personally. just because I like two other offenses that we're going to talk about on this slate as full stacks. But man, these Guardians do have some upside, I think. Typically, I don't play the Guardians too much, especially on a 14-game slate. But our projections and metrics over here do like them pretty a decent amount, excuse me. And they do get Mr. Tukey Toussaint here, the journeyman on the hill for the White Sox. Yeah, no White Sox interest for me. I'll always bring up my guy Jake Berger, sub 4K, tons of power there. Don't mind him. He's batting in the 5-hole tonight. You can always play him. Luis Robert, you can always play him. But, yeah, not a ton of interest overall in these White Sox. Next game on the slate, we got Mackenzie Gore, one of my favorite pitchers of the slate here, facing the Mets. I know me and Hoop are on different sides of this one because Hoop does like the Mets a little bit against Mackenzie Gore, who does get barreled, but he still strikes out a lot of guys. That's what I'm going for, strikeout upside. And then Max Scherzer, probably the chalk or second highest owned pitcher, contesting with Gausman on the slate. These Nationals can be pesky at times. Any interest in any of these Nats or the Mets for you?
Yeah, no interest in these sticks. A little bit of interest in Scherzer, and I'm not playing Mackenzie Gore. He only threw 90 pitches last time out, which was infuriating to me because I had him. But so I'm not going to play him tonight. Not against these Mets. I think there's other pitchers to stack. I know he's in your core, so I'll wish you luck, but he's not for me tonight.
Yeah, no. May the best man win on a Friday. He kind of just fit my build. I think he got the K upside, so I'm kind of rolling the dice there. Again, I need value pitchers because one of my favorite stacks of the day is very expensive. So in this game, I mean, always you can play CJ Abrams. His price point is finally starting to adjust, though, on DraftKings, so I don't love it as much, especially against a righty in quality pitcher who I do believe in Max Scherzer. Really not a ton of interest in any of these Nats, personally. Not to say that I'm have a ton of interest in Scherzer either. It's just Nats just don't strike out a ton. Scherzer, I just don't think has a ton of upside. He'll probably go out there and throw 12 Ks now just because I said that. But no interest in the bats for me in the Nationals. And then on the Mets side, no real interest in the bats either. I like I said, I like Mackenzie Gore. The Mets do have a pretty healthy implied run total, so you can certainly go there if you want to. But just personally for me, I'm out. One guy, I mean, Tommy Pham, 3,300 in the cleanup spot is a pretty nice price point. Obviously, Pete Alonso has seemed to figure it out a little bit since coming back from that home run derby where he got absolutely dusted in. But yeah, no Mets for me personally, but I do think people do go to the Mets with a pretty healthy implied run total. Overall, the price points are pretty fair on these guys, and it is Mackenzie Gore who does get barreled at 11+% rate on the season. Next game.
One thing to note real quick, Nades, is they did flip-flop that batting lineup. They got Lindor batting second. Alonso, who's batted fourth all season, is now batting third. And Tommy Pham is in the 4-hole. So they traded away their closer yesterday to the Marlins. And I guess trying to jumpstart that offense. But so let's see what happens. But just wanted the folks to know that lineup has been changed.
Yeah, no, definitely good call out. I am seeing answering a question in chat, what's Cleveland, Toga? I'm seeing Cleveland projected right around the second highest owned stack of the day. Again, yeah, I talked about it. It's because of their price points on DraftKings. They have a healthy implied run total. They've been solid as of late. They've been winning people money, and they got a healthy implied run total, and majority of their lineup is under $3,000. So that's why it allows you to spend up at pitching, still get some of those stud bats like Mookie Betts, Acuna, those guys in there. So that's the reason that they're going to get ownership. But next game on the slate, we have the Braves at home in Truist Park facing Mr. Cy Hauser himself, who did strike out, 9 of these guys last time. Everybody loaded the wagon, including myself, on the Braves. I think the tables turn here tonight. I love the Braves. I think Hauser is going to regress big time. I just don't think Hauser is a great pitcher overall. I think he's been playing with fire. But do you have interest in these Braves? 5.6 implied run total. Team ISO over 230. Do you go into the Braves on this Friday against Hauser, and then any of these Brewers for you against Yanni Chirinos, who has been absolutely horrendous?
Yeah, I can't play these Brewers, Nades. I should say your Brewers. This is Nades versus Ham tonight. Nades' Brewers coming into Hot Atlanta to face my Braves, but I can't do it. They're so bad, in my opinion, talking about the Brewers. So no Brewers for me. Going to take a look at these Braves. I mean, anytime you can get Matt Olson at home versus a righty, you got to love that. Sean Murphy, who's been scuffling at the plate, he's looking good tonight. And then always Ronald Acuna always profiles very well. Austin Riley, Ozzie Albies. We talk about it all the time. You can play 1 through 9. I don't think I'm ever playing Marcell Ozuna again. So I'm saying 1 through 9 without Ozuna. No Ozuna for me. If I put him in my core, please delete it from the thing, Nades, because he's awful. So no Acuna for me, but interest in Olsen, 1 through 9 minus Ozuna, I'm interested in.
Yeah. No, I'm give me all these lefties on the Braves. That's my preferred. Adrian Hauser is just not good against lefties. He's actually pretty solid overall against righties. I mean, righties are just hitting for under 100 ISO on the last 30 days against Hauser. I mean, lefties have a 16% walk rate, 268 ISO, fly ball rate of 43%. So 43% fly ball rate in Hotlanta. Obviously, it's not as hot as it has been in games past in Atlanta or some of these other games on the slate, but it is still Atlanta. Still Truist Park, pretty favorable hitting conditions overall. So give me the lefties. Matt Olson, it starts there with Matt Olson, obviously incredible. Ozzie Albies in the 2-hole, switch hitter there. We're going to bat from the left side. Rosario and Michael Harris are my preferred. Obviously, you can always include Acuna, Austin Riley, Sean Murphy. Yeah, Ozuna, man, Ozuna. What a guy Ozuna is. I mean, that dude is starting to turn into freaking Joey Gallo there, home run or nothing, home run or bust there. Not a ton of interest in him. But mainly the lefty. So I like the Braves more as a mini stack here tonight. I think you can certainly 5-man them, but they're second place 5-man stack to another team on the slate that we're going to talk about later for me personally. But do like these lefties quite a bit for the Braves. On the Brewers side, Christian Yelich is locked in at the plate right now. Gets to face a pretty bad pitcher overall. He is $5,400. Probably going to be pretty low owned at $5,400 in the outfield with a lot of these games. I mean, you got a Coors Field slate. You got a lot of good spots, a lot of good hitting conditions. So people probably won't go to him at that price point. Abraham Toro's back in the lineup, first base, third base eligible, $2,800. He's hit righties pretty well overall. I think he's fine. Sal Frelick still remains pretty cheap, batting in the cleanup spot. Absolute stud prospect there, $3,400. I don't mind some of these Brewers against Chirinos. I think guaranteed ninth inning at bats. I don't think Chirinos is any good. Good hitting conditions, and these Brewers are cheap, man. Tyrone Taylor, Bryce Terang, Joey Wiemer, Toro, Rey Mysterio there, Sal Frelick. I mean, they're all cheap outside of the top 3. They're all super cheap. So I don't mind them. They still have a pretty healthy implied run total at 4.5, even being a shitty offense. So don't mind them. Definitely prefer the Braves lefties in this one for me personally. Next game on the slate, let's head into Kauffman Stadium. 102 degrees at the start of the game, 100-plus degrees, hot and humid, double-digit wind blowing out straight to center field. We got Sonny Gray on the mound. We got Brady Singer. You talked on freaking Singer. Well, you're going to sing your way to either the top or the bottom. That's how you want to play GPPs. I'm on the other side of the Twins here. I like the Twins lefties a lot in this one. Do you like any of these Royals? Because I know you talked about them a little bit pre-show. Sonny Gray, regression coming. Talk on this one.
Yeah, I'll let you talk Twins. That's my hot take and my low-owned stack of the day are these Royals. I think this is a Sonny Gray blow-up spot. This weather is bad. Interested in MJ Melendez, Salvador Perez, and Bobby Witt right there, 2, 3, 4. Really interested in them as a low-owned stack, especially a mini on DK. I do think the Sonny Gray regression is coming. I think that heat is real. You talked about 102-degree weather. Bobby Witt, stolen base, always can do a stolen base, always can go over the fence. So give me that 2, 3, 4 on a DK mini, and then I'll let you touch on the Twins. I mean, I just don't want to pick on Brady Singer. I mean, I get it, but it's not for me. I'm not going to play Brady Singer, but I'm not going to pick these Twins either because no, I'm not going to do it. Go ahead and talk about the Twins, Nades.
Yeah, man, these Twins, the lefties in particular, I've been playing Edward Julian every single night. The dude just continues to absolutely smash the baseball, 3,300 at a weak position, second base, batting in the 2-hole. I mean, they just never priced this dude up. I think 102 plus degrees here, wind blown out. Sign me up for a guy that can hit for power, has been locked in at the plate, I believe, in hot streaks in baseball. He's one of the hottest hitters right now, personally, in my opinion. I like him at 3,300. Alex Kirilloff, Max Kepler. I love those 3 bats there right in the heart of the order. They're probably going to hit 2, 3, 4 like they have been over the last couple of weeks. And Matt Wallner there, 2,100. I mean, the dude just keeps hitting bombs, and DraftKings just priced him up $100. Projected to hit down towards the bottom of the lineup, but I don't care. It's Brady Singer. doesn't strike anyone out, especially lefties. Sub 20% strikeout rate against lefties. Hot and humid weather. The Twins, give me the Twins as a mini stack. Perfect fillers. I'm personally not going to 5-man stack the Twins, but 3-man, 2-man stacks. I love the Twins here. So I like them. And I'm seeing Wallner not in the lineup. Is that right? Wallner not in the lineup. We'll get that updated on the sheet here, obviously, as lineups come out while we're doing this show. So sorry if we do misspeak on some of the lineups. Not following everything. There's a ton of stuff going on when we're trying to break down 14 games live on air for you guys. But yeah, I like the Twins. On the Royals side, I mean, sure, you can play the Royals. Usually Hamwich has a pretty good take on these Royals for whatever reason. Last time you mentioned them, they went off. Great hitting conditions. I mean, it just goes to show you the hitting weather in Kansas City, Vegas. I mean, the Royals are projected to score 4.6 runs against a very quality pitcher in Sonny Gray. That just shows you Vegas is accounting for the weather quite a bit, and it's hard not to. I mean, the temperature is going to stay up the entire duration of the game, it looks like, with wind blowing out. So I love this game. I think it's a viable game stack, but I prefer mini stacks personally. I think both sides are viable. Definitely give preference to the Twins in particular. Max Kepler, Julian Kirilloff. I like those guys there. And Wallner is DHing, so I like him too. 2,100 value guy with power at the outfield position. I mean, perfect one off there. Yeah, I like the spot. I don't know what more to say in that one. Next game on the slate, we're going to try and cruise through this as quick as possible for you guys. But again, ton of stuff to break down. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Sitting at 84 likes. We need about 40 more likes to get the top 2 ranked pitchers, top 2 ranked hitters. Once you do that, we'll give those out. And then our low-owned pitcher and our home run call like we always do each and every show. Next game on the slate, Hamwich, we got the Rays, McClanahan on the mound, Christian Javier. Pretty easy stay away spot for bats in this one for me personally. But talk on this one.
Yeah, definitely no Astros for me. McClanahan, have some respect for him. So won't be playing these Astros bats. Christian Javier, he's been struggling against right-handed hitters all season long, and some of the best hitters. I mean, they got good hitters on both sides of the plate for the Rays. So I would try to attack him with the Randy Rosarenas of the world, Isaac Paredes, Harold Ramirez, those righties, those power righties, and then sprinkling in a lefty, Luke Raley, batting in between those righties. So a little bit of interest in these righties. We'll shake out. I'm looking at. I don't see a confirmed lineup, so we'll see with that lineup how that shakes out. But really going to focus in on these righties for the Rays.
Yeah, no, I think the righties are definitely in play. A Rosarena, Luke Raley there if he's in the lineup. Jose Siri, Brandon Lowe, obviously from the left side of the plate. Josh Lowe from the left side of the plate can still hit righties pretty good. So I don't mind some of these Rays. But yeah, definitely better spots on the slate for me personally. And the Astros, really no interest in the Astros overall. Maldonado, if you need a punt catcher, just home run hunting, sure, 2,500 I think is not the worst play, but not trying to pick on McClanahan with an offense that I haven't played too much. So pretty easy stay away spot for me. Next one on the slate, again, another 100+ degree, hot and humid. Probably one of the best hitting conditions overall on the slate. I mean, this and Kauffman Stadium, a couple other ones. But this one, double-digit wind blowing out the left field, 100 degrees. It's the Cubs who have been playing great ball right now. Get the lefty in Montgomery, who they just lit up about a week ago, right? Are you going back to these Cubs now? Guaranteed 9th inning at bats. I mean, the back half of that lineup, Bellinger, Swanson, Morel, Mancini if he's in there, Wisdom, Amaya. I mean, they all smash lefties. Any interest in those guys? And then any interest in these Cardinals who do look like they're going to be facing Hayden Winsinski here? Talk on this one.
Yeah, Nades, earlier I said I had a little bit of interest in Montgomery, and that's after listening to you. I think I'm going to change my tune. Just these Cubs, have been hot. These sticks have been hot this weather. So you've changed my mind. So I have a little bit of interest in these Cubs. They have been doing well. So I'm going to take a look at them. No Montgomery for me, and you and I talk about it all the time. We hate picking on bullpen games, and we think this is the bullpen game. But with this weather, with some of those bats, we saw what happened last night with just this heated rivalry. Right, these two teams hate each other. We saw that in the first 5 pitches last night. So I could see full game stacking this just based on the weather and based on the sticks that we have and how hot they've been. So little bit of interest in both. We'll kind of see how the lineup shake out and go from there. But no pitching, and I am interested in both sides of the plate.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of with you there. I think the Cubs are firmly in play. I like the back half of the lineup, especially Patrick Wisdom at 3K. If Patrick Wisdom does crack that lineup, there's probably a pretty good chance he hits a bomb here tonight. I like him. And 3K, third base, batting in the back half of the order, he'll be unowned. So definitely like these Cubs. I mean, Cody Bellinger's been one of the best hitters in baseball. Low strikeout rate, even lefty-lefty. Great ISO numbers, lefty-lefty. 39 plate appearances. He's hitting for a 350 ISO on the season. Under a 10% K rate, even lefty-lefty. Great hitting weather. Guaranteed ninth inning at bat. Sign me up for some of these Cubs. I like the Cubs a decent amount. Cardinals, I had more interest in the Cardinals if they were going to face Drew Smyly. It does seem like they're facing Wisniewski here overall. So not a ton of interest, but obviously you can always play Arenado. You can always play Goldschmidt. Tyler O'Neill's got a nice price point there, 3,500, likely batting in the middle of that lineup. Paul DeJong. I don't mind some of these Cardinals either. Again, great hitting weather. Wisniewski, 13.4% barrel rate on the year, sub 20% K rate on his metrics that we're pulling in here on the road this season. So like this game, both sides, lean the Cubs side more though against Montgomery here. Next game on the slate, two bad offenses, but best hitting park, on the slate. It's the Athletics facing Kyle Freeland in Coors Field. How did I forget to mention it's Freeland, free money Freeland in Coors Field. The dude absolutely mows people in Coors Field and now gets a team that strikes out at a 25% clip against lefties. I apologize I did not bring that up, but I do think Kyle Freeland at 5,400 is definitely in play tonight for me. He always pitches well in Coors Field, so I don't mind him. Touch on this one. Are you going to any of these Athletics who are going to pick up ownership, especially at these price points? I mean, only two bats above $4,000 in Coors Field with a 5.4 implied run total. And then any of these Rockies who do have a 5.7 implied run total against JP Sears and the Athletics. I mean, just two dog shit offenses in Coors Field. What are you doing with this one?
Oh, Nate, this one has me torn up, and I'm interested to hear what you have to say. I mean, it's actually the Rockies that are going to get more ownership tonight than the Athletics, and it's usually the other way around. And you said it. I mean, just two dog shit offenses, 14 games. I just don't think I can do it. I think there's other places that you can go that can beat this game. That's what I talk about all the time. If this was a 6, 7, 8 game slate, I would say, yeah, you have to play Coors, but we have such great weather. We have such great offenses in this great weather. I think it's a fade for me, especially on my three main teams. I am MME in tonight, so I will have a sprinkle of them in MME, but I'm not going to play them on my main team. I can't trust the likes of Tony Kemp or Brent Rooker or Jordan Diaz, whoever that is, in my main team. And I'm going to roll the dice and say free money Freeland gets the job done. At least I hope he does. And then if I did have interest, it would be on this Rockies team, but that's minimal as well because they're not any good either, Nates.
Yeah, I'm off this game. Like I said, JP Sears, I think, is a viable pitcher option just at the price point. He's been pretty solid. It's still a shit offense. But, I mean, 155 expected ISO for the Rockies, 106 expected ISO for the Athletics. Not really signing up to play that on a 14-game slate with incredible hitting conditions, 100-plus degrees in 2 games, 90-plus degrees in majority of the games across the country. So not a ton of interest personally in this one. I will be off of Coors Field here tonight. And like I said, I don't think Freeland is the worst play on the board. He's pitched very, very well in Coors Field overall. Next game on the slate, it's the Rangers heading into San Diego. Not the greatest hitting weather overall. Joe Musgrove, Dane Dunning on the mound. Dane Dunning has pitched pretty well, but mainly at home. On the road, he has not pitched very well. The Padres have hit the ball a little bit, but just a 4.5 implied run total. Not the greatest hitting conditions, not the greatest hitter's park. Pretty easy stay away spot for bats in this one for me. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm going to look at these lefties. These lefties for the Padres have a little juice to them. I think Juan Soto, Jake Cronenworth. You always talk about Trent Grisham down there in that 9-hole. So I like those lefties. Dane Dunning can't strike any of those lefties out. Nobody's going to play these Padres. Your boy Ha-Song or Ha-Don Kim doubled on the other night. I think you got to look at these Padres late night hammer and a nice little pivot nice little pivot off these Dodgers who you're going to talk about. So yeah, give me some of these Padres. No interest in these Rangers bats for me. I know they put up a 15 the other night, but I'm going to stay away, especially against Joe Musgrove.
Yeah. No real interest in this game personally for me. I think Joe Musgrove's a fine pitcher option tonight against these Rangers. I think he has strikeout upside. On the Padres side, I mean, Juan Soto, obviously you can always play Juan Soto each and every slate. He's sub 6K. Not a bad price point there for his upside. I mean, you see those kind of hitters, those caliber hitters, 6,300, 6,500. That you get a nice little discount there, a couple $100 discount. But Luis Campusano, I think, is a viable catcher punt option at 2,600 with some upside there. Trent Grisham, I always bring Trent Grisham up. He's 2,700 with power and speed. Don't mind that, but overall not a ton of interest in this game for me for a stack perspective. But next game on the slate, I do have some interest in these Mariners, in particular Eugenio Suarez against a shitty lefty in Tommy Henry. Do you have any interest in these Mariners? The Mariners are going to get some ownership here tonight, but it is Tommy Henry on the mound, lefty. Any interest in these D-backs against Logan Gilbert? Where are you going in this one?
Yeah, it's a 14-game slate. This is a complete pass for me. I think Cy Henry gets the job done against these Mariners who just strike out too much. Eugenio, who almost did you nice last time you stacked him on a Friday night with a double dong. I hope he does it again for you tonight, but complete pass for me on this game. Not going to play either side.
Yeah, I'm a little bit different. I like these righties for the Mariners, which they're likely going to have 8 of them in their lineup. Obviously, Cal Raleigh is going to hit from the right side. I like him. Dylan Moore, Tio Hernandez, Eugenio Suarez, Julio Rodriguez, who has been locked in at the plate right now. I think these righties are definitely in play. Dylan Moore, if you want a cheap second base outfield guy there, 2,200 with his power. I think he hit a bomb yesterday or the day before at 2,200, dual position eligible. Don't sleep on these Mariners against Tommy Henry. I think they're firmly in play for me, especially mini stacks. I like those guys. D-back side for me is a fade. I'm not playing these D-backs. Christian Walker, sure. Corbin Carroll, you can always play those two in the heart of that lineup, but overall not a ton of interest. Next game on the slate, we got 2 games left. Again, about 190 people, 180 people in here watching. 93 likes. We're almost there. Need about 27 more likes if I did the math correctly. 37 more likes, something like that. Obviously, math is not my specialty. But once we do get 120 likes, if you can get it home, we'll give you the top 2 ranked pitchers over here using our proprietary ranking system at SHIPITNation.com and the top 2 ranked hitters as well. But let's talk about it. It's the Dodgers facing a freaking Brandon Williamson who can't strike anyone out, gets barreled, expected ERA approaching 6, and it's freaking Mookie Betts tonight. Where are you going in this one? The Reds, I know you had some interest in some of these Reds at the start before the show, but we did also mention Bobby Miller. And then talk on the Dodgers, who I'm seeing the Dodgers is like the 7th or 8th highest owned stack of the day behind teams like the Rockies, the Athletics, the Guardians. Like, where are we going in this one? Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have interest in the Dodgers all the time. If they're going to be the 6th or 7th owned team, then I think you need to up your ownership because that's just too low for them. But me personally, I think they're going to be higher, and B, I just don't believe in Bobby Miller. And I said it earlier, if he's 25% owned, I really love these left-handed hitters for the Reds. They have power. They still, it feels like just as much as anybody in the league. I mean, all these guys are stealing, double stealing. Will Benson in the 9-hole lefty. Give me these Reds. My hot take of the day is going to be these Reds actually win this game. Obviously outright, you're only betting the money line, but I like these Reds to win this game, to beat up Bobby Miller with the new look Dodgers. Said it earlier, these guys have never played together before. So I really like these Reds more than I like the Dodgers tonight, even though Vegas and no one else is going to give them a chance.
Yeah, no, I think you can always play them. Pretty favorable hitting conditions in Dodger Stadium here. Guaranteed 9th inning at bats, got stolen bases. Will Benson, I think, is a fine play. Joey Votto, I'm sure. But my interest here resides with the Dodgers. My favorite stack of the night, far and away my favorite stack, not even close. The Dodgers are absolutely going to piss pound Brandon Williamson here in Dodger Stadium. They're going to have some new guys in the lineup, Kiki Hernandez, Ahmed Rosario, which has been a huge pickup for them because they don't have to play freaking shitty Miguel Rojas every day as their everyday shortstop with the addition of Ahmed Rosario. I love him at 3,900. Chris Taylor, obviously JD Martinez, Will Smith, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts. I mean, the list goes on and on. There is some more pinch hit risk, though, with these guys acquiring. Once Brandon Williamson does leave, expect Chris Taylor likely to get pinch hit for. Kiki Hernandez probably as well. But, I mean, I do like Ahmed Rosario. Mookie Betts is my top bat on the slate. Not a hot take by any means, but people aren't paying for these Dodgers. I'm seeing Kiki Hernandez probably going to get a decent amount of ownership just at this price point because he does have second base shortstop eligible, sub 3K on a team with almost a 6 implied run total. He's definitely probably going to be a pretty staple cash option, even if he does hit towards the bottom of that lineup. I don't love him. I like going right to the other side, Ahmed Rosario, who will get ownership, but he's $1,100 more at the shortstop position. So I like going for him, wrapping it around to Mookie, Freeman, Will Smith, JD Martinez. I like that stack quite a bit for the Dodgers. That's where I'm going. Love the Dodgers here tonight. Would definitely be far overrate on the Dodgers in MME set if I was playing MME. I just think they nuked the slate tonight. Friday night, they've treated me very well all season long on a Friday. For whatever reason, they just get the job done. And I like it here against the bad lefty in Brandon Williamson. Last game on the slate, we got the Red Sox. We got the Giants. Giants do have a decent implied run total, 4.4 against Cutter Crawford. I have interest in both pitchers personally. No bats for me in this one. Do you have any bats that I'm missing?
Yeah, no bats, Nate. I think we're in lockstep here. Tons of interest in Logan Webb. He was in our top 2 in both. Jock Jams, Lamonte Wade would be the only 2 I had any interest in on the Giants side as a one-off or a little 2-man mini if they bat 1-2. But Cutter Crawford striking out 32% of righties, so no interest in any of the righties, and only Lamonte and Jock Jams for me.
Yeah, no, great breakdown. Lamonte Wade, Jock Jams, I'm right there lockstep with you. Hit righties pretty well. Batting 1-2 likely in the lineup, but not my favorite spot. Again, I don't worst hitting weather, best pitching weather on the slate, best pitchers park, considering the weather as well. So no bats for me in this one. That's all 14 games, an hour and 2 minutes. We went through pitching at the top of the hour. We broke down each game by game with the hitters. Definitely keep an eye out for weather in this one, particular that New York game or that Baltimore game. Excuse me, it is in Baltimore. That Pittsburgh game. Cleveland White Sox has a little bit too. Everything else seems pretty good. But let's do it. How much? Give the people what they want. Your low-owned pitcher of the day. Where are you going?
Low-owned pitcher of the day. I'm going to say Grayson Rodriguez. I'm seeing sub 15% on DK, even lower on FanDuel. Grayson Rodriguez would be my low-owned pitcher of the day.
And the man, I mean, I tell you what, the dude had to take my guy, but I will give the people an off-the-ball, off-the-board one. It's going to be a Coors Field guy. It's going to be free money Freeland at absolutely dirt minimum, $5,400 price point. I think Kyle Freeland, I'm not afraid of these Oakland guys. I'm not going to play the Oakland offense in Coors Field. I don't care. It's Coors Field. I won't play these guys on an arm slate, so I'm certainly not playing them in Coors Field here. Kyle Freeland at home, I think, does have strikeout upside here. He's got the 8th best K rate on the slate. The best matchup across the board in terms of opposing WOBA, opposing ISO. Give me Kyle Freeland to post a nice score here at $5,400. I like him. Let's do it. Home run call. Where are you going, Hamwich?
I'm going to give the people a double dose of Matty Ice. Double dose of Matty Ice. Going up north of the border. Matt Chapman batting in that 5-hole tonight, facing Lucas Giolito. I think Matty Ice, Matt Chapman goes yard. And down south in Atlanta, the dirty South. Let's go. Matt Olson takes Cy, what's his face, out of the park today. Struck him out, I think, 2 or 3 times last time. But I think today the boys get to the Brewers and this pitching staff.
Yeah, great calls, great calls. I'm going to give the people the freest square of the board. Mookie Betts. There's no way he doesn't hit a home run tonight against Williamson. Mookie Betts far and away my top bat of the slate. But I'm going to give the people a little bit lower owned guys. I'm going to go to Max Kepler in the, what is he? Is he in the 4-hole? I haven't seen that lineup updated yet, but I'm going Max Kepler in that weather game, guaranteed 9th game at bats, and you can even pair him up with Julian there. So Julian, Max Kepler, and my guy Mookie Betts for me. That's going to do it for this Friday edition of the Witching Hour. All 14 games, talk pitching, talk hitting. Again, we got to shout out our guys, drafters. We appreciate them. If you are in the best ball streets, interested in best ball, head over to Drafters, use code SHIPIT to get 100% deposit bonus. Join Big Marley, join Titletown as they break down live drafts, ADP rankings, everything's available over on ShipItNation.com. $59 a month does get you access to all of that. $5.99 for the year comes out to under $50 a month. And NFL is right around the corner, along with NBA shortly to follow. And we have everything over here, all the tools you need to have success with DFS. But that's going to do it. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on the way out if you have not already. Hope everyone has a fantastic weekend, has a fantastic evening. Good luck in your contest tonight. But for Hamwich, I'm Nadesify. We'll catch you guys next time. Let's ship it.